Hey, man, say, man. Now, we all know the decision that was made by the New York Athletic State Commission to not overturn the draw and make Lamont Roach the winner. And they made the right decision. I'm going to tell y'all why they made the right decision. And I'm also going to tell y'all why they made the decision they made, all the ins and outs behind it. But before we do, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's cook on it. So yeah, man, we all know the decision that they made. It's crazy to me because a lot of people really thought that they was going to overturn that decision and make Lamont Roach the rightfully winner, right? A lot of people was thinking they were going to overturn that. Not 1 second did I think they was going to overturn that decision. I was telling everybody it ain't happening. Ain't no way they going to overturn that decision and make Lamont Roach the winner. And like I said in the intro, they made the right decision. Now, my opinion on why they made the correct call by not overturning the decision is because, look, man, first of all, it's not Gervonta Davis's fault that the referee didn't do his job correctly, right? You can't punish the fighter for the ref not doing his job correctly. And if they overturn the decision, then you got a whole bunch of what ifs, right? You got a whole lot of what ifs. You got, well, what if Gervonta knew he was down and he would have just went all the way out and turned up on Lamont Roach? That's a what if, right? What if Gervonta knew he was down, went all the way out and turned up on Lamont Roach and got knocked out? That's a what if. So it's a whole bunch of what ifs that can come into play just from the referee not doing the correct job. Because the New York Athletic State Commission, in their ruling, they admitted that the referee didn't do his job correctly. They admitted that he didn't call the knockdown when it should have been called a knockdown. Everybody that's going to tell the truth about the situation knows that's a knockdown. Now, a lot of casuals, let me take that back because Gervonta Davis got a lot of casual meat mushers. You know what I'm saying? They not casual meat mushers, right? But they casual boxing fans and they extreme Gervonta Davis meat mushers. So a lot of them, they just coming into boxing, right? A lot of them, they don't know shit about boxing. They just know that they want to see Gervonta Davis knock out somebody. They don't care if he in the ring with me, my next door neighbor. They don't care who he in the ring with, just as long as he get a knockout. So they don't know the rules and regulations of boxing, right? They super casuals, but they strong pro meat mushers. So, you know, not everybody knows the rules, but anybody that knows boxing knows that if you take a voluntary knee, whether you got hit in the eye from a braid or you got grease in your eyeball or you got jabbed in your face, you take a voluntary knee, it's a knockdown. Everybody know that, right? But in the case, like I said, I don't think that the fighter should be punished for the referee not doing their job. Now, we all see Gervonta Davis stop Steve Willis and tell him basically, why the F is you counting? You know you ain't supposed to be counting. You know on the A side, you know it ain't supposed to go down like this. Steve Willis looks back, right? He looks back at the commission because the commission or whoever you call them, right? They're the ones who start to count, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the referee has to pick up the count from wherever the timekeeper, the commission, right, outside of the ring is at, right? They have to pick up the count. If you notice, Steve Willis, he looks over and he stops, right? He looks over at that commission or the timekeeper, or whatever you want to call him. He look over at them and he stops the count. They told him to stop that count. Like, nah, it ain't supposed to go down like that. Then he gets to arguing with Tank and he tells Tank, well, you can't do that because it looks like that you taking a knee and it looks like it's a knockdown, right? So in that moment, Steve Willis made the wrong call. Now, what should happen, if you're going to uphold the integrity of the sport of boxing, you don't punish the fighter, right? You don't go back and punish the fighter and say, you know what, we messed up, so we're going to give you a loss. That ain't Tank's fault. Real talk. That ain't Tank's fault. What you do, if you want to uphold the integrity of the sport of boxing, you punish the one that made the call, that deliberately knew what he was supposed to do, but refused to follow the rules because of who was in the ring, the cash cow, Gervonta Davis. So if you are going to make a call, the New York State Athletic Commission, what you should do is you punish the referee and you suspend the referee for a year. Suspend him for a year. That's if you really real about the investigation that's going on. See, the problem is the New York State Athletic Commission, the referee, the judges, they're all one. They all won, especially if it's a big name fighter like Gervonta Davis going in against an underdog that really don't have no name. See, the thing is that Gervonta Davis is the money man. He's the one that brought all the money to New York. So they don't want him to lose. They don't want him to have a draw. Anything that happens, they're going to put in place for it to go his way. You see, so when Lamont Roach files an appeal through the New York State Athletic Commission, they don't have no choice but to pretend like they're investigating, right? And they're going to make the right call. They never had any intentions of overturning that fight call. They never had any intentions of punishing the referee that made the call because they're all one. If we got a money maker like Gervonta Davis, Canelo Alvarez, these big names that bring money to our state when they fight here, well, we're going to do right by them. Right by them doesn't always mean we're going to call it straight down the middle and fair. Because what a lot of people don't understand is boxing is all about corruption and money. Money brings corruption. It ain't about being fair. Never has been about being fair. So if the roles were reversed and Lamont Roach was the money man and Gervonta Davis was the underdog that was virtually unknown, well, it would have been the same way in Lamont Roach's favor. This ain't nothing new. This ain't the first time something has happened that's been corrupt in boxing. This is the first time we've seen a man blatantly take a knee and get ignored by the referee, right? In that fashion. But this ain't the first time corruption has gone on in the sport of boxing. This is why Turkey Al-Sheikh is trying to get rid of these sanctioning bodies and these fake ass belts and all of that, because it's so much corruption going on in boxing. Now, if he does come in with Dana White and they take over or whatnot, I'm not saying that it ain't going to continue to be corruption, but the corruption that's been going on in boxing for years and years is blatant and everybody sees it. And it's gotten out of control. So, once again, they made the right call. If they was really going to uphold the integrity of the sport, you make an example and you do what you got to do to suspend the ref. But they not going to do that because all Steve Willis was doing the job that he was told to do by all of the head people in charge. You put him in a position to where his first instinct is to do what he's taught in referee school, right? Do what he knows he's supposed to do. But then when they tell him he got to take the orders of the people that's above him, because he knows that if he doesn't, the PBC and everybody else over him will make sure he won't be in that ring roughing another big event for a long, long time. It's a price to pay. The $1 million man. Everybody got a price to pay, and he would have had a price to pay. But since he did the job that he was told to do, well, don't think that he didn't get a little something on the side. I even saw somebody run up on Steve Willis and ask him about the incident that took place, and his words was, "I can't talk about that. I can't say nothing about that." We know why he said he can't talk about that and why he can't say nothing about that. Anyway, y'all let me know how y'all feel about all this. Drop a comment in the comment section. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again, and I'm gone.